When one first hears that California is in an earthquake drought, they can go over to the USGS or Global Incident Map and they can quickly see that there are quakes all through California, which is the case on a daily basis. But in terms of a drought, it has indeed been a drought for big quakes. The issue with this is that over time, if there's not a release of energy in some of these areas, this will help to build up that energy and cause a destructive earthquake once it does let loose. Now, I've talked about the San Andreas many times and the Cascadia. And all these different fault lines that interlock going through here. Plus, this is sitting on the Ring of Fire. Any major volcanic eruption could also trigger a series of events on fault lines. Then we also have an area up here that has been silent for a long time as well, which could produce a megaquake along the coastlines from Washington all the way down into California. California itself, always seeing some swarming down here in the southern regions. Always seeing some kind of activity, and it seems like it's shifted into Nevada over the years. Now, we take a look here at the history. You can see that in the 80s and 90s, that there was a 6.9, a 6.7. In the last big quake, hitting in Napa, a 6.0 in 2014. Now, on the surface, people could say, okay, what's wrong with that? Good, we haven't had a big quake. That is good. That is good that there hasn't been any damage done, any lives lost from major earthquakes. Once again, though, the problem is you have to understand how these quakes work. And if they're sitting there building up energy, it just means that the next one that it lets loose is going to be even bigger. So what I like to see is a series of 4s and 5s being released over time in some of the same areas. This is showing us that the energy is being released and that it's not just sitting there building up to where one day it could release a 7 to an 8-pointer in this region. No doubt Cali's going to see a big one. The big question always is when. But in terms of looking at scientific data and looking at a track record here and what's going on with the major earthquakes in California, they're saying in the last 25 years there have been 11 such tumblers statewide. Now, in the preceding generation, there were 32. So we can see that there's been a slowdown in terms of how frequently these earthquakes have happened. And here it talks about the lockup. And this is the area that you really have to watch. And you can see there's a 90-mile section right here that they're really watching that's locked up. And I've talked about in the past that if one is to generate from the Salton Sea, that it would unzip all the way up toward Los Angeles, toward the San Francisco area. Then you have another scenario where one from the Cascadia could unzip from the north down the opposite way. And then you have the Hayward Fault and many other faults that sit in between there. So one key event really could trigger the big one for California. But in terms of a drought and the information connected to it, wanted to go over this. Get this out there. I'll leave links below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for more and for updated earthquake information. This has been Dabu7. Much love, y'all.